Before our last story tonight, let me ask you a question. How are the Monday blues treating you? At what point did they unleash the wrath? Was it that email you checked as soon as you opened your eyes this morning? Or did the blues never end in the first place thanks to that super duper urgent project over the weekend? We are not stalking you. This is just a sign of the times, of the blurring lines between work life and personal life. But if you are in Australia, we have good news for you. Starting today, this blurry line is outlawed. Australia has introduced a new law. It is called the right to disconnect. It offers relief to workers across the country. They will no longer have to take their work home. If the workday is over, people can ignore office-related communication, be it texts, calls or emails, without the fear of being punished. If bosses fail to comply with the law, they will have a heavy price to pay. They will be fined. How much? About $13,000 for an employee and $64,000 for companies. But before you sue your boss, do know that there's a catch. There always is. The law does not ban contact after work hours. It simply gives staff the right not to reply. So your boss can still email you at midnight, but you don't have to read it. You have the passive-aggressive but legal right to ignore. Because the idea is this. If you aren't being paid 24 hours a day, you should not be penalized for not being available 24 hours a day. Simple enough. And how are people taking it? Unsurprisingly, Australian workers are overjoyed. They have welcomed the move.
I think it's actually really important that we have laws like this. We spend so much of our time connected to our phones, connected to our emails all day. And I think that it's really hard to switch off as it is. So, yeah, I'm all for it.
But not everyone is happy with the law. Critics cite two problems. Despite the law, workers in high-pressure industries or the service industry could feel obliged to always be on. This is the first problem. And it is true. Not all workers are equal under this law.
I think it's an excellent idea. I hope it catches on. I doubt it'll catch on in our industry, to tell the truth, though.
And why not?
Well, you know, we are professionals. We're well paid. We're expected to deliver, and we feel we have to deliver 24 hours a day if we have to. So the phone's always on, the computer's always on, and we're working.
That being said, critics, especially some employers, cite a second problem. They say disconnecting from work after hours will hurt productivity. But this is a myth. Years of research says so. Unpaid overtime work is bad for employee well-being. Less of it promotes work-life balance. This leads to less stress, less tiredness, more happiness and personal fulfillment. So when people show up to work, they feel more refreshed. They have better productivity. And this is not all theoretical. We are already seeing the right to disconnect in action. You see, the law may be new to Australia, but about 20 other countries already have it, including South American and Asian nations. But no one disconnects like Europe. France pioneered the law in 2017. It was the first country to introduce it. Others followed suit. Recently, a study was conducted across companies covered by the law in Europe. 70% workers saw a positive impact. They reported better work-life balance and higher productivity. Now, the right to disconnect is fairly new, but so far science approves of it. So do most workers. But here's a quick reality check. This law will not work everywhere. Sure, the right gives people an out, but not everyone wants to take it. Sometimes out of guilt, sometimes out of fear, because at this point, overwork is also a cultural phenomenon. And changing that requires more than just a law. It demands greater awareness and acceptance. Acceptance of the fact that work is a crucial part of life. It is not life. And we should work because we want to. No matter the reason, joy, money, personal fulfillment, there is nothing wrong with working during a weekend, nothing wrong with checking an email first thing in the morning, but as long as you want to, not because you're obligated to, not out of the fear of punishment. So our point here is quite simple. The right to disconnect is a welcome change for those who want to disconnect. It can restore balance and strengthen boundaries. But remember that our boundaries are not just for others, they're also for ourselves. So until there is an internal shift, we will never achieve the true right to disconnect. Think about it.
Across continents, one powerful news source. bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. From elections, to climate change, to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global South. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree. One tree for humanity. One tree for Mother Earth. One tree for a future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Obviously today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can we expect